Bruce, you must have something really good too.
Of course I do. It's Bruce Danielson, and I guess I'm here to entertain you too.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here. Those of you here in person, thank you. Those of you joining us remotely, thank you for doing that as well. We'll go ahead and get started with our special meeting for the mayor's budget address today by reading our roll.
Councilmember Sale.
Here.
Starr.
Here.
Brecky. Erickson.
Here.
Jensen. Kiley.
Here.
Neitzert.
Here.
Selberg.
All right, I'd ask that you rise right now and we will say the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we'll move to our regular agenda and ask for a motion to approve that, please.
Move approval. Second, Kylie.
All right, motion by Selberg, seconded by Kiley. Any discussion on that? All right, we'll take a vote on that, please.
Councilmember Sale.
Yes.
Starr.
Yes.
Brecky.
Yes.
Erickson.
Yes.
Kiley.
Yes.
Neitzert.
Yes.
Selberg.
Yes. All right, our first and only item of business then is the Mayor's 2021 recommended budget address. Well, good afternoon, Council. Today I present to the Council and residents of the City of Sioux Falls my administration's proposal for the 2021 budget for the City of Sioux Falls. Over the next several weeks, we will share more information with the Council and the public about the programs and other items I'll be outlining today. Despite the challenges of COVID-19 over the first half of the year for our community and for the nation, due to the sound decision-making of our city over the past several decades, we have the opportunity to move forward and adjust to this health crisis with resiliency and plan for our community's bright future. We continue to see examples of our community's civic strength. Our ability to work through challenges together is the added ingredient that makes Sioux Falls an incredible place to live, to work, and to play. That said, we have not been entirely immune to the economic impact of this pandemic. As I will outline, the proposed 2021 budget reflects adjusted revenue expectations based on what we have seen to date. Reflected in this budget is thoughtful use of taxpayer dollars, something our administration takes very, very seriously. The city's finances impact every aspect of our residents' lives. Our decisions in fiscal stewardship are guided by the One Sioux Falls framework, as we not only continue to deliver infrastructure improvements and services to our residents, but also balance reinvestment into our cultural and recreational amenities in our community. The One Sioux Falls framework guides our financial priorities and investments as a city. With these tenets in mind, the proposed 2021 budget is focused on priorities that we can be proud of: engaging people, investing in the public safety and health of our residents and community, promoting access to housing, and developing workforce that will grow our economy. Our city is fortunate to have established a stable financial footing that positions us to both meet the demands of our city today and make investments for the needs of our community going forward. Before I dive into the specifics of this budget, I want to provide a brief overview of the different types of expenses that are included in this plan. The total city budget for 2021 is $593.6 million, which includes operating expenses, capital expenses, and internal services. Operating expenses are the daily costs needed to run city government effectively and deliver services to our residents. Capital expenses, which I addressed last month when covering the 2021 to 2025 capital program, while those are large infrastructure investments. The internal services expenses are used to account for and fund employee benefits, insurance, our city fleet, and technology. As for our revenue, less than half of the total revenues for the city comes from taxes. The bulk of the total operating and capital breakdown for 2021 focuses on major capital investments like the water reclamation plant expansion, highways and streets, and public safety and health. This budget also accounts for cultural and recreational investments that contribute to the Sioux Falls experience that we've all come to appreciate even more during the first half of this year. Public safety is a fundamental component of the One Sioux Falls framework and is critical to our city's civic strength. The goal of the safety and health tenet is to provide a safe community for the health and well-being of our residents. In the 2021 budget, that goal is reflected in our investments in key projects, including a new fire station in Southeast Sioux Falls to meet demands of our growing city, and a premier public safety training facility to train our fire rescue and police department personnel. Next week, we'll be bringing forward to the Council and Minnehaha County Commission a full presentation on the public safety training facility and Metro 911 Center. While the current facility can serve as a backup center going forward, the Metro 911 Center can no longer serve as our main center, and as our city and county continues to grow, it needs to be replaced. The ordinance for Community Bond 2020 will be coming forward within the next several weeks in conjunction with the Council's review of the 2021 budget. This project is, at its foundation, an investment in our people, both our public safety team as well as our residents. It is critical that our city's dedicated public safety professionals have the tools and the resources that they need to stay safe and provide top-level services to this community. The city of Sioux Falls was recently recognized as one of the best-run cities in America by Wallet Hub, and it's for good reason. We are thoughtful about our fiscal spending, including the projects that we bond for. The city has and will continue to propose borrowing only for large capital infrastructure projects. The city's in a position to take on debt for Community Bond 2020 because of our debt levels, which are both judicious and substantially below the debt per capita position of our regional peers. In addition, the city of Sioux Falls effectively manages its long-term debt. We remain well below our borrowing threshold. The time is right for this project, and it will serve our city for the next 50-plus years. Our Sioux Falls Fire Rescue Team is committed to the safety of Sioux Falls and continues to deliver high-caliber services. That is evident from the department's ISO accreditation rating of 1, the highest rating a community can receive. Continuing to invest in Sioux Falls Fire Rescue will help ensure we can properly respond to the needs of our community in the short and long term. In 2021, we will open Fire Station 12 to meet the demands of growth in Southeast Sioux Falls. The budget includes funding for the staff and equipment necessary to open this facility, ensuring that our call response times meet standards we have set elsewhere throughout the community. The decisions made concerning department staffing needs were very intentional and were made to align with investments being made throughout the remainder of the budget. The 2021 budget includes funding only for positions in public safety, along with several of our utility enterprise funds. We are adding 15 fire personnel to staff the new fire station I previously mentioned. We'll also add 5 police officer positions to keep the number of officers on pace with population growth for our city. Aside from those public safety positions, we are also funding 4 additional FTE positions for 2021 in the utility enterprise funds, which again are those user fee funds. The reality of the situation is this. As a city team, we must continue to provide the same amount of dedicated services to our community, even as the community grows, with nearly the same number of personnel. Along with the new Public Safety Training Center, the Sioux Falls Police Department recently received authorization to conduct a local law enforcement training academy. This training model will provide many benefits in the areas of retention of officers, overall staffing levels, and our ability to provide a high level of services to our community.
Today we're here to talk to you about
the city will also continue the investment we began 2 years ago with the purchase of an additional 150 body cameras for our police force. This will allow each uniformed patrol officer to have a body camera. These cameras will record our officers' interactions while carrying out their duties and will help our police force better serve and protect this community. We are also taking steps toward creating additional resources to help everyone thrive. That includes providing triage services for our community's most vulnerable populations through the new Sioux Empire Triage Center, or what we will be referring to as LINK. This facility, to be housed in a city-owned building, will help our community begin to assess and triage the mental health and addiction needs of our residents. The triage approach provides an essential connection between our local health and public safety entities. It will help make the best use of their resources and ultimately work to provide the most appropriate services to support this very vulnerable population.
This is a great resource.
We're also taking meaningful steps toward providing more affordable housing options. We know that access to housing has a widespread and positive impact on the stability and strength of a community and its workforce. It's also an essential component of our residents' quality of life. Last year, the city partnered with Minnehaha County to form an accessible housing advisory board to leverage federal dollars to create and preserve housing. This board is also developing strategies to keep people housed as a way to combat homelessness. Our work with this board is focused on creating 1,000 housing units by 2022, and we are well underway to meeting that goal by establishing a housing clinic, starting a housing trust fund, and increasing rental registrations. We're also working to grow private sector and nonprofit partnerships that will make building accessible housing an equitable option and drive innovation to meet the growing demand for workforce housing in our city.
The stormwater collection system
Workforce development is another tenet of the One Sioux Falls framework. Sioux Falls continues to be recognized as a great place to do business.
Down into pipes,
as businesses consider expanding or relocating to our community, our need to upskill our workforce continues to grow. While businesses thrive here due to our low taxes and our business-friendly regulatory environment, they also thrive when we have a strong workforce. For the past 2 years, we have invested in workforce development programs with Southeast Technical Institute. As part of the 2021
sink,
budget,
a
we are
shower,
proposing
or a
to
floor drain in
again
their basement.
continue that investment.
That is not allowed.
One
That
of the
is against
highest
city
callings in
ordinance
leadership
and could have
is lifting the
catastrophic
potential
effects
of
to both
people.
yourself, your
And that's
home,
something
and also
I
your
personally
neighbors'
am very,
homes.
very
The
passionate
sanitary
about.
sewer collection system is not
The
set up
investments
to
we
handle
make in our
those
people
initial
today,
flows.
and when I
Those
say our
flows
people,
from
the
sump pump
1,300
and
employees of
inundated
this city,
sanitary collection system
they'll last
can
long
cause sewage
beyond
backups
my
into
election
either
term.
your home or your neighbor's home.
Through our
So please
employee
be sure to
engagement
have your
software,
sump
we are
pumps
staying
discharging
connected
to
with our
a
city
stormwater
workforce
collection system
and are
at all
able to
times.
develop the culture
In
required
conclusion,
to
I
build
just want to stress
the
how
potential
important it is to have a
and
functioning
performance
sump pump
of a true
and that
public
it's going
servant.
to the proper place, to the stormwater system and not into the sanitary
One of the best
sewer.
ways we can
Also,
continue
strongly
to invest
suggest
in
that you have a
enhancing
backup
quality of
system
life
some
for our
sort and
residents
possibly a
is by
backup pump
building
as well.
upon the
If you have
investments
additional
made
questions
in
or
our
need more
cultural
information,
and
please go to
recreational amenities.
siouxfalls.org/sumppump
We will
or
continue
call
this
us at
investment in
367-8601.
2021 with construction of the initial phase of the Cherry Creek Trail corridor in northwest Sioux Falls and updates to the Visitor Center at Falls Park. Arguably, one of the greatest investments made into our community was the cleanup and rehabilitation of Falls Park. This historic namesake park has seen a consistent increase in visitors annually. Park attendance has increased more than 65% in the past 15 years. Many of the past improvements, along with the historic structures that create such a memorable experience for park visitors, well, they're in need of repair and improvements to accommodate increased visitor use and encourage a positive user experience. This project will provide updates to the Visitor Center tower deck, the elevator, the restrooms, and will help us maintain this destination for the future. A key to civic strength is ensuring that our city personnel remain engaged stewards of the city's future. To me, that's one of the most important leadership functions as mayor. That's more important now than ever. To that point, we continue to invest in our personnel through our internal leadership development program that we call Onward. We are also continuing to grow Sioux 52, a community-wide initiative to develop Sioux Falls as a community of mentors. We are determined to recruit 5,200 mentors by 2026, a big goal that will require us to unite as a community and truly become a city that is known for having a mentorship mindset. It's going to take hard work to get us there, but you need to trust me, it's worth it. This program stands to have a ripple effect for many generations to follow. Innovation is a pillar of the One Sioux Falls framework. It's also a buzzword that you hear frequently when it comes to providing local government services more efficiently. And that's for good reason. Data and analytics have great potential to improve government services. Within the Department of Innovation and Technology in the city, we're doing just that. We are optimizing our use of data and technology to benefit the community, specifically in the area of what we call civic analytics, using information technology to solve public problems. We're leveraging technology in places like Public Works by implementing automatic vehicle locating technology across the entire street division fleet. Through this technology, we will use GPS to track vehicle locations, and we'll also install AVLs on contractors' vehicles that assist with snow and ice control. This technology has many benefits, including the ability for us to complete projects faster with real-time visibility into the vehicle location, traffic data and route analytics, and more. The team also will be better equipped to respond to changing conditions more effectively and serve our community in a better fashion. In 2021, we are continuing our commitment to investing in our roadway network. The capital program invests a higher portion of the sales and use tax to street construction and maintenance than it did on average over the last decade. We are also continuing to find ways to innovate and improve our processes. For example, in public works, we are using technology and other strategies to reduce the use of salt chemicals to enhance our snow removal services. This past winter, we piloted the use of a salt brine mixture as a pre-treatment process before winter weather. This pilot was successful and reduced the amount of salt by almost 50% on the sections on which it was used. These sorts of improvements will help keep our cold weather economy humming. Our street crews are hard at work during the summer months as well, working on pothole patching, asphalt repair, slurry seal, and mill and overlay operations. We will continue these investments in 2021 to maintain the city's overall road network. Many of the investments we are making in the public sector are paving the way for the private sector's development investments in our community. One prime example, and one that you've heard me talk about before, is the expansion of our wastewater treatment plant. In 2021, we will continue expanding the city's wastewater system and treatment facility, a project that will allow us to serve the city and region's growing population for decades to come. More than $18.5 million is allocated in the 2021 capital program for the expansion of this facility. However, another significant water reclamation project planned for 2021 includes continuing construction on a new main pump station at Rice Street and Bonson Avenue that will replace an aging facility and add capacity. Think about this stat for a second. Roughly 90% of the wastewater produced from Sioux Falls homes and businesses is pushed through this pump station as it makes its way to the water reclamation plant. The pump station here is scheduled to be operational in late 2021 and is vital, critical to the pace of growth we are experiencing in our city. Over the past several months, it has become increasingly clear to me how important it is for us to unite as a community in order for us to be successful. It is our community's financial stewardship, our economic strength, and philanthropic heart that has made us successful in the past. And relying on all three will continue to move us forward and ensure a bright future for everyone. The steps that we are taking now and the investments that we decide to make today will shape the future of Sioux Falls. We have the opportunity now to begin that work. Your investment will make Sioux Falls' future. Here's what that looks like. It looks like a city that delivers essential services equitably. And not just infrastructure, but digital equity as well. It looks like a city that provides a reliable roadway network and that also connects us as a community through cultural and recreational amenities, such as expanding our bike trail network. It looks like a city that reaffirms its commitment to public safety and invests in a public safety training facility for our frontline public safety personnel. It looks like a city that invests in our most prized resource, our people, so that when called upon, we band together and build upon the civic strength that has become to define Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Let's build the future of Sioux Falls, and let's start that work today together. Thank you for your time today. That concludes our meeting. That's the only item on the agenda. I would just need a motion to adjourn this meeting, please.
Move to adjourn.
Second?
All right, motion to adjourn by Brecky and seconded by Kylie. All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
All opposed? All right, we are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.